The records are now open. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Akashic Answers with Emily. I'm excited to spend some sacred time here with you. And if this is the first time you are joining, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director here of the Akashic Academy, and a mentor to lightworkers in the realm of the Akashic Records, which we're going to talk about today. Not only am I going to give you a little more insight on what the records are, how they work, if we've got some newbies in the house with us today, we'll talk about that just really briefly. And then I want to give you a really powerful tool and understanding of how the records work so that you can begin to use them even more dynamically in your life. Please say hello once you get here, and I'm going to take just a moment and share this out. One of the reasons the work we do inside of this space is so profound is because there is a huge reach here on the platform of the Akashic Academy. We have a global audience, and when we begin to share and spread this message, connect with each other through the grid, through the energetic grids, and we connect ourselves globally, we are not only strengthening the amount of expansion each one of us can do individually, but we are strengthening what's possible for the world as the world is waking up right now. So I'm going to invite you to share this out. Let's get a nice big audience here with us as we work today. Wait, I want to share it to my own timeline. Not a friend's timeline, my timeline. I'm not good at this. This is so tough to do, like right in the moment. Sure. All right, I want to share just to my own timeline. Share to Emily's timeline. Why can't you go to Emily's timeline? Fine. I'll share my story. Newsfeed, public, more options. Almost. There we go. No, just share on my own timeline. All right. Fine. I'll share on my own timeline later. Thank you guys for being patient with me there while I shared. So I promised you today we're going to talk a little bit about what the records are, how they work, and while I'm taking just a few moments to give you some background knowledge and information, I would love you to go ahead and start typing in your questions, the areas where you are looking for insight, guidance, and clarity in your life, because that's what the records provide. So let's talk about what the Akashic Records are. The Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information, all data in the entire cosmos has been programmed from a neutral perspective, meaning not the perspective that you experience where you're all ass-chapped about whatever happened to you. This is from the perspective of unconditional love and zero judgment. This is the God perspective. The perspective that allows us to see the growth potential in every single thing that we're experiencing. And that's where we tend to get stumped. Our growth tends to become stunted, is that we don't see from this higher perspective that opens up possibility. We experience from a very, very limited perspective. A human being has five senses, five outward senses that interpret only 0.003% of the energy that is available in our universe. So we're getting a very, very limited perspective of our lives and what's really going on in our lives from the perspective of our human self. So it's helpful to begin to process life from this higher perspective, from our God self, stepping into our higher self and learning to hold this high frequency of divinity. Okay? And when you have access to all the information in the universe, past, present, all possible futures, you can extract the right intelligence that's going to help you see right where you can make decisions that actually shift your timeline. We begin to understand the cosmic mysteries more dynamically because we're not experiencing them from our limited polar perspective. We're experiencing them from the space of unconditional love and zero judgment. But we must learn how to see ourselves and how to see the world from this perspective. Every single person has access to this data bank, but learning how to use it in its most potent way is really important. Okay, so learning how to use the Akashic Records is another way of saying, how can you learn to see yourself in life from this higher perspective where shit start to make sense? One of my dear friends, Amanda Masters, perhaps you know her, just dropping little celebrity names this morning, co-founder of Awake TV. We have this playful little game where anytime we're leaving each other messages, there's this long string of like goddessy titles. Mermaid, princess of the light. So fun. You know what she called me today? Oh, I loved it. She called me the mistress of all cosmic mystery. Oh, I got so excited. Because that's what happens. The cosmic mystery of your life, whether you're looking on the microcosm of like, why are my relationships so fucked up? Why is my job so fucked up? Why is my health fucked up? Pardon my French, but I speak it if this is your first time here. From looking at that microcosm to the macrocosm of what is possible when we learn to see ourselves through the eyes of the cosmic mystery and we understand how truly powerful we are. Now notice, I did a little role play there for you. Why is this so fucked up? Why is this so fucked up? Why is this so fucked up? Which is what we tend to do. We want answers about why things are so fucked up, right? But when I talk about using the Akashic Records to its fullest, we've got to change that question, okay? Because questions are truly how you are already communicating with the Akashic Records. Everybody already is. This field is all around us, ever pervasive, the ether. It is everywhere. And the ether is intelligent and it is responding and informing us based on how we are informing it, meaning whatever you're thinking and feeling and doing creates a certain energy vibrational frequency that is met by the ether or the Akash. Okay, Akash is a Sanskrit word that means ether. So how do you begin to communicate with this field more intelligently? You just ask different questions. If you ask the question, why is my life so fucked up? Why is my job so fucked up? Why is my relationship, whatever it is, you're going to get some specific answers that are going to show you where your karmic patterns have gotten you stuck. But what you really want to know is, what do I need to do to move beyond the limitation? So you see how the nuance of that question is different? And it's going to invite different intelligence forward. So this is really the key of learning how to use the Akashic Records, is how do we learn to ask the right questions that are going to open up and invite the intelligence to drop in? Because once you have an idea inside of your mind, you're freaking golden. Ideas, these are the magical seeds that create here. Thought, mentalism, everything that we experience comes from the primordial essence of thought. So if you can ask a question in a way that allows you to get a different thought, dude, you're 99% home free, dudes and dudettes, when it comes to making shifts in your life. Okay, so I really want to focus on questions today. And I invited you to go ahead and start typing in your questions before I broke down all of this nuance of questions and how questions work. But this is something that we get good at. As we learn to work more dynamically in this space, we learn to ask the really, really potent questions. So I am going to, first of all, I have a special little something for everybody. I'm going to share with you a guide, a free gift. This is something that I created and I use with my Akashic Records students. And for a long time, this was only for my Akashic Records students. And then I felt called to create a version of this powerful resource. You see it just popped up there, the Akashic Scrolls, that will help people as they are beginning to turn on and use the Akashic Records, because the questions are so important. And I'm talking of like such importance that the right questions can completely recreate a timeline. We experience the same basic storylines, timelines over and over again. From your life, why is my job so fucked up? Why is my relationship so fucked up? See, same things over and over. To on a cosmic scale, we are repeating ancient Atlantis and Lemuria. We are repeating the lessons of creation and reinvention, a lot of Adam and Eve, which you'll find the Adam and Eve connection, the invitation to what if, rather than being shunned for our desire to be self-known and self-actualized, when referring to when Eve ate of the tree of knowledge, what if we were actually invited and encouraged to experience that process? And so these questions will help you begin to unravel what is possible when you begin to see from this higher perspective. So for all of you out there, I want you to please click that link, not now, wait till after. Download the Akashic Scrolls, which is going to give you some more clarity around this, sharpening the skill of asking really, really potent questions. And now I'm going to dive in and grab questions from the audience. If the question needs a bit of a reframe, we'll talk about that. And then we will also bring in guidance, not guidance, but a transmission, an energy, something that you all can just receive as an activation to up-level your DNA, to create space in your field for whatever needs to drop in, to drop in. Okay, so Layla, I see here, I want to ask, where did my trust go? Such a beautiful question. I want to honor that first because there's a lot of vulnerability in this question, and this is specifically synchronous and potent to me right now because one of the life lessons and business lessons that I personally have been working on is a creative certainty and trusting myself to make powerful decisions, to make decisions that are of my highest good. And when we don't fully trust ourselves, the trust begins to go away in every other place of our life. Okay? So, Layla, while I thank you again for inviting this really, really deep reflection, I'm going to invite everybody right now to see if there's any place within you that you might have unreconciled self-trust for a decision that you've made. Here's how it came up to me, or one way that it came alive for me. And that is, many of you know that before this incarnation, where I am a Akashic Record mentor, I spent 20 years of my life as an actress in Hollywood. And that storyline for me was a freaking incredible one. I loved it. And there was a lot of pain that went along. There was a lot of scarring and trauma that my soul agreed to as part of my learning process on taking on such a huge endeavor in life. And there's part of me that wondered, while I'd say like 99.9% of that experience, I freaking loved it. Yeah! Is there a part of me that is like, oh yeah, but Emily, you suffered greatly through that experience. And good for you for being brave and courageous and making that big decision to be the small town girl and to quit college and to move from rural Missouri to Hollywood and to make your fame and fortune as an actress, but don't do it again. Once is enough. And I found little remnants of, oh yeah, okay. And it allowed me to sit with that and to be with that and to honor that and to release it. Okay? So in terms of trusting yourself, and I'm inviting everyone right now, let's just take a few minutes and just get really centered. Lay the hands on the heart. When you're touching your physical body, especially your heart, you're giving an indication, not only symbolically and physically, but electromagnetically. You're letting your body know that you're safe. And just give yourself this moment right now to reflect. And is there any decision that you've made in your life that's causing you to not fully trust yourself when it comes to making decisions? And trust is the decision. That's why the guides are bringing it in this framework. It's not a feeling, it's a decision. It's a decision that requires bravery and courage. So if anyone, and Layla, if you feel like you're melting a little, wilting a little in that space of courage, here's the next question, and how I'm going to invite you to see the difference between how we ask a question and how the answer comes through. But let's take it a step deeper now, and what is needed for you to fully trust yourself? What is needed? Do you need to feel safe? Do you need to give yourself permission? Do you just need to make the decision? Do you feel, ooh, like I just felt like a, Urgh. So thank you for whoever's represented by proxy showing me in my physical body where the pain gets lodged. Thank you for being here. You might feel it too. You might feel a place where there's physical tightness in the body. Maybe you just need to breathe into that. But what do you need to do to invite trust back in, self-trust back into your life? Some of you may be really hurt and wounded in this area. I find that doubting our intuition and doubting ourself and our power is a gateway, a threshold that I work with very delicately and ferociously at the same time with my lineage of clients and students who work with me, because it's a big thing, getting over that self-doubt and learning to trust ourselves. Okay? I'm glad that I didn't fully fill in the blanks, just gave you like some ideas, everybody some ideas there on what is meaningful for you, because truly what you say is more important than what I say. I'm just showing you today by demonstration, there's the word, by demonstration how this energy works, but what I really want to do is teach you how to do this. If I cut the shit. I want the whole world to be able to do this, because when the world remembers they can do this and we learn how to do this, all the problems that we're currently experiencing from micro to macro do not exist. But here's the first step to getting to that point of being able to trust yourself enough to do work like this. And that is, this is the activation we're going to do. I'm going to invite you all to begin to see yourself through the eyes of the Akashic Records. Because this is where you will see yourself and everyone else from a space of unconditional love and zero judgment. No one can lie to you. You can't lie to yourself. How can you not trust that? You get to this place where there's only trust and truth. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, sit up nice and straight, take a few deep breaths to clear out your energy field. Okay, deep breath to clear. You can vocalize the exhale if you want to. Take another breath to create space in the body. Space to see yourself in a way that you might not have seen yourself before. One more nice deep breath. Call your power back to you with this breath. Good. And as you exhale, begin to just allow yourself to see the human version of you through the eyes of divinity, through God's eyes, through God's mind, the God mind within you. Begin to see yourself, begin to see your limitations melting. Be very still and present with yourself. Many times as we begin to see the truth of who we are, we want to run. We get uncomfortable. All of a sudden you remember you have a message to answer, or you're tired of watching this broadcast, you're going to keep scrolling now. This is where the work is done. Stay still and just stay present with the witness of who you are through this perspective. All of you who received that activation, can I get a yes up in here? All right, if you received that activation, if you felt that, let me know. Let everybody know. Expand the energy of it. And I'm going to dive in and grab another question here. Savon Sean D. Scott. I love this question. What is my current purpose? A couple things about this really stand out to me. One, I love that you say current purpose because there is an inherent understanding in there, Savon, that we are living many lifetimes in one lifetime, that time is speeding up. We're crunching timelines. So I love that you are inviting the evolution of what's next for you. Okay? That speaks to a high level of consciousness of this audience, and I love that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to say, Savon, about what your current purpose is. The second thing I want to say is that you get to decide, and this is a collective you, everybody gets to decide, and here's how you figure it out. What's most alive for you right now? What are you most curious about? What could you spend all day learning about, teaching others about, sharing about? It's got to have that level of excitement or it's not going to hold your attention. And each one of us come inherently programmed with several different things that could work like that. Or maybe you think, I only have one. I've noticed in myself, they're all similar. They're super artistic. But there are several different expressions of how I have been able to take my curiosity and my passion and to create an opportunity to serve others with it. And that's truly what I feel like every single one of you who are watching this broadcast, whether you're watching with me live or on the replay, you are here to do is to step into exploring entrepreneurship because it's part of the New Earth template. You know, we have jobs, but not like in the old way in the New Earth. Jobs, a way that we serve humanity, a way that humanity progresses, that everyone collectively shows up and does that. That's one of the main constructs of a society. Reproduction would be another example. Reproduction of the actual beings in society, evolution of the species, but also evolution of the technology and the culture of the species. I'm going to get a little busy there. So recognizing what each one of us have come programmed with, our curiosity and our passion, and figuring out how do you serve society with that is a completely different construct than the old construct of how we got jobs, went to college. It's going to look completely different. Okay? So regardless of what the specific incarnation of your, and this is for not Savon, but everybody, of what your purpose is, it's designed to advance society and to create big expansion, inspiration, curiosity, and passion within you. I think that's really all they want to say about that. Let me see if there's anything else they want to say about that. It's really important that that's you recognize that you're co-creating that with spirit. That's not something that you have to discover, like spirit left you a note, a secret scavenger hunt note, where once you find where the X marks the spot, you're going to dig up this template. It's going to say, your life purpose is to be a teacher. And you're like, yes, it is. It doesn't work like that. You get to co-create it. So whatever is alive for you and passionate for you it is a huge catalyst to how we step up and expand. Okay? And furthermore, anybody who's asking the question in this space, it has to do with being some sort of a magician. However you interpret that, whether you interpret that as a healer or as a mindset coach or as a yoga instructor or Tai Chi or Qigong or theta healing or human design or astrology or EFT or whatever is your unique expertise. We also need, well, I can only rattle off a few of the jobs that we're going to need in the 5D because there's only a few of them that are known. There are so many more that are not even known until we really get into that space and begin to see what's needed there. Right now, I can tell you a lot of people are waking up and transitioning from their intuition turning on, learning how to use it, learning to step into entrepreneurship and genius. Variety of different ways that we can show up and create unique expertise for those who are going through that right now, which is everybody, by the way. There's marriage between what we experience in teaching our children about meditation and their skills at home and what they experience out in the world and what they experience in school. There's a lot of normalcy of our superpowers that needs to be ingrained here on the planet. So there's all kinds of different ways that we can create products, services, jobs, opportunities, stories, art, whatever, you name it, that begins to point civilization in this direction. All right, Taryn Smith. Oh, you're going to try Emily? Duplessis. That wasn't bad. Okay. Taryn says, I have so many ways I want to show up and serve. What would be the best place for me to start to get the momentum going and I would have the biggest impact? Beautiful. All right, so Taryn, what I'm getting is, and this is for everybody, Taryn, thank you for bringing this forward for all of the entrepreneurs who have either identified themselves or starting to identify themselves, who are asking themselves the same question, okay? The most potent place of impact that you have when it comes to helping somebody else is who you were a few beats ago, a few moons ago, you in the past, you a few growth stages back. Get it? It's like the Palladians coming in to really help Earthlings right now. The Palladians are like our 5D futuristic cousins. They're us in the future, we're them in the past. It's very easy for them to come and help us in a lot of different ways because they are directly, like in genealogy, whether you interpret that as actual DNA or in the pattern and light signature of expansion, when you find two aspects that are close together like that, you can have tremendous impact. And it's pretty easy. So that's what I'm going to share for all of you entrepreneurs out there is look at where you were a few beats ago. What have you come through, conquered? What have you transmuted? Where are you learning to hold this higher vibrational frequency? And teach what you're learning. That's super important for me. Teaching what I'm learning is the most profound way that I actually freaking get it, that I learn, that it clicks for me. Because I learned cerebrally first, and then I learned to feel it more in my body. And then I put all the pieces together where I can create behavior and action that is aligned thought and feeling. But I don't usually get it on the first try. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see what activation wants to come in here for stepping into purpose. Okay, I'm feeling like it's a vision activation that wants to come in. So let's do some breathing with the third eye. Third eye right here, in between the two hemispheres of the brain, so not actually right here on my face, inside your brain. I want you to imagine breathing with the third eye with me, okay? And as we do this, holding the resolution to expand our vision, our inner vision, and begin to see what is possible, to see our genius, and to see what is possible when we learn to align fully to our genius. Okay, so breathing with the third eye now, deep breath in. And exhale, we're going to do 7 breaths here to fully activate this vision and this genius. We're on breath number 2 right now. And breathing with the third eye. Deep breath in. Inhale. This is breath number 5. Keep all the focus on the third eye, the mind starting to wander. Don't let the mind wander. Bring it back. Stay with the breath. Last breath right here. Releasing. And just sit present with that activation for 1 minute before you move on to the next beat of your life. Take a moment to fully ingrain what is possible for you. What becomes possible for you when you have clear, high-level vision and perspective on who you are and why you're here on the planet. Cool. All right, I'm going to call for one more round of typing in questions before we wrap up today. So get your questions in, and I'm trying to drag it out slow so you guys type your questions in. Because as soon as I tell you the next part, you're going to be like, screw it, Emily, I'm done. I'm not typing the question. I'm actually hanging up from the broadcast. And that is, I'm not actually going to take any more questions today. But just you typing the question and inviting forward what you want higher intelligence on in this container, in this sacred container of the Akashic Academy, you will get insight that drops in, and I want you to experience that. I want you to experience the magic of this space where you can just type in a question and pay attention over the course of the next 24 hours. I want you to see what drops in for you. Okay? So type in those questions. One more time, I'm going to leave you here with the Akashic Scrolls. This is the free download that's going to help you start using the Akashic Records to its highest potency. Like I said, you're already using it anyway. You're asking questions, you're getting information, you're getting intelligence that drops back into your mind, your awareness from the field at all points in time. I just want to teach you how to use this in a very mindful way, a very conscious way that's going to allow you to step into the powerful being that you are and create the life that you're meant to create, not accidentally creating the bullshit life that you accidentally created, and then now we got to figure out how to recreate. Okay? But that's what we're doing, and it's part of the process. We do it wrong and then we do it right. Okay? I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. I see a couple. There's confidence coming in. What do I need to get more confidence? I'm seeing that come in. Okay. So let's just address that confidence quickly before we wrap up here. All right. Oh, this is cool. You guys are going to be glad you stuck around for this one. Okay. What Spirit is saying for those of you guys who are working with confidence? First of all, you've been overworking it. It's been a life theme that you feel like just, oh, why can't I get it already? So Spirit wants to make it easier. And what Spirit's inviting you to do is simply, when you go into, the living room is what's coming forward right now most clearly, because most of us tend to go to the same place in our living room and sit in the same place. We're repetitive. Move into a different place, because what will happen is you will begin to see your environment from a different perspective. And as you get to know your environment from all of these different perspectives, you naturally are going to increase the scope of confidence you have about, because your field is just fed with more intelligence and more perspective. It's super simple. That's really the root of the confidence issue, is that we only see ourselves from one limited perspective. If you can jump out and get into a different perspective and you can begin to see yourself through God's eyes, it's no longer an issue. But we have to learn to cultivate that even ability to see from a different perspective. So do it with these simple ritual ceremonies by mindfully bringing awareness of, I'm gonna sit and watch The Bachelorette in a new. I don't know who watches that shit. Do you watch that shit? Is my face getting red? I might like that show. Okay, but I'm gonna watch it in a new place. All right, and with that, I love you all. Don't watch shit. Watch Akashic Answers with Emily. Share this with somebody you love, and I will see you back here next week.